Vayan Efron es Avraham. And Efron responded to Avraham, Benu Elimelech, Perosh, Efron, Meloshon Afar. So it explains that the name Efron is from the language of dust. V'hu ha'atzlus v'ha'atzvus shenimshach miyesod ha'afar. And it is the laziness and depression that comes from the fundamental element of earth. Shigorim bitul lavodas havaya, that causes to nullify the service of Hashem. Vayan mashikasu b'torah Ohr Parshas vayishlach b'dibur hamaschil vayavek ish be'inyan avak d'ishtar min nura. And look what it says in Torah Ohr about how Yaakov fought with the angel from the language of vayavek, from the language of avak, of dust that's left over from the fire, ashes. Similarly, we can say the concept of Efron, that it corresponds similarly with the angel of Esav that fought with Yaakov. It's something that tries to impede our avodas Hashem. And look what's part in the Mamer of that the humble will gather in. That humility and joy are really one thing. The masculine and the feminine of the same concept. And that's the concept of evening and morning. And on the opposite side, the coarseness, meaning haughtiness, and laziness are the masculine and feminine of the klippa. So instead of anava, you have gasus, and instead of simcha, you have atzlus. That the simcha is a zrizus in avodas Hashem. Ubimeore or os ayin simin kaf daled afar nekra habina chulu. And in meore or, it says that dust is the concept of bina. Gam afar nekra hamalchus chulu, and malchus is also the concept of the dust. So it's both malchus and bina. So similarly, that's like a concept of the joy above the bina and the humility below the malchus. Afar nikra klippa, and the afar, the dust, is the concept of klippa. I guess on the other side, v'hu afar asher bekarka mishkan, and that is the dirt that's on the earth of the mishkan. V'usige hadinim chulu, and that's the below the kedusha. You have the dregs, the leftovers of judgment, of the judgments in kedusha. So those judgments are mishtalshel below. Do become dinim. Val ein zor chile gimel naso daf kuf kafei b'parshas lech lecha daf pemur aleph b'sisrei Torah is afar kidisha v'is afar misava chulu. And look what's brought in Zohar lech lecha, that there is earth that is, or dust that is holy, and there's the concept of earth that is impure. That is the earth they would put in the offering of the sota. Vainu afar kadisha anava ubitul, and that is that the holy concept of earth is humility and nullification. Ulechein sadeh hamachpela hu shem ban hayatchila biad Efron, and therefore this field of the doubled cave, which is the concept of shem ban, with its two hays and the doubled hays and so forth, that was first in the hands of Efron, Dugmas Klalos Eretz Yisrael, Shaisa Biad Canaan, similar to the concept of Israel in general, which is also corresponds with Malchus, that was in the hands of Canaan. So the first, it was under the concept of the klippa of Afar. And look in the previous Mamer about the Sdei Machpelah, about the idea of Malchus and Bina having to do with the Machpelah. That seems to be similar to the idea of Malchus and Bina here, with the Afar, perhaps. Parshas Noach, Dafayin Gimel Amud Beis, Parshas Lech Lecha, Dafayin Tesuf Amud Beis, Shual Derech Shiyasur Ha'or Nimshach Min HaChoshech. That this is like the concept of that the light comes specifically from the darkness, from the comparison to the klippa of Canaan or Efron. That's when you recognize the specialness of Eretz Yisrael in Kedusha, and the Maras Machpelah, Keinyan mi Tain Tahor mi Tameh, and like the concept of who will give purity from impurity, Kemo Kein Eretz Arba Meos Shekel Kesef, so too the land of 400 shekels of silver, Shu Inyan Olam Hatainug, which is the concept of the world of pleasure of Kisufin, Hayatchila Bereshus. Efron was first under the control of Efron, Shenafal Sham B'Shviras Sakelim, that it fell there in the breaking of the vessels, Dugmas Tainugim Gashmim, similar to the idea of physical pleasures, Kadeshi Yisron Ha'or Mehachoshech, in order to have the greatness of light over darkness. So Kisufin for Olam Hazeh is traded for Kisufin of towards Zelukus Oberabos Nivhal Lahon Ra'ayin Ze Efron. And in Medrash Rabbah it brings the pasuk, someone who's hurrying to get treasure and has a bad eye, that refers to Efron. Kichein Efron Chasar Vav Gematria Ra'ayin, so too, because that's the word and the name Efron, spelled Ayin Peresh Nun, without a Vav. That's the gematria of Ra'ayin, with a bad eye. Vayan b'me'orei or os ayin sof sif yod dera'ayin zehu samich mem chulu. And look in me'orei or, that the bad eye, that refers to the samich mem, the accusing angel, or the angel of Esav, similar to, like we said, V'yavik Ishimo. That's a similar concept of that malach. Chesed Yavienu. So I guess the end of the pasuk in Mishlei is that he will if you're nivhal lehon. So in the end, Chesed Yavienu. So you will get instead a lack. You will be missing it, the exact opposite of what you want. Instead of getting riches, you'll be lacking. Avraham birer mimenu shem ban chulu, that Avraham purified from him the name ban. Like we're saying here, that the Midas Machpelah is Shem Ban and was taken from Efron to be purified to the opposite of Efron. Humility instead of haughtiness. And Simcha instead of Atzlus. Gam L'chaim Inyan B'chinas Levush Sak Shu Neged Arba Meos Almin Kisufin Dichsufin. And we can also say that there's this concept of a garment of sackcloth. That sak is gematria 400, that corresponds with the 400 worlds of desire, of pleasure, to change them from Kalipa to Kedusha. Sak, Zeu Inyan Efron, and the concept of sackcloth is the concept of Efron. V'kemushikasu b'makom acher binyan Taf Tchia, Taf Tammuz. Taf Tchia, Taf Tammuz. So I guess there's a concept of Taf 400 of to enliven, and 400 to for death. Ki Taf Rashim Rishim Ulatik Yamin, because Taf made a mark, a residue for Atik. So the concept of Taf somehow is connected with Atik and with Chaim and Movis. Vayan Mashikosim is able to Torah Sof Parshas Bahar Binyan es Shabsosai Tishmuru Ube'emek HaMelech the Olamatu Shorsho Mitaf Shel HaMalbush. And in Emek HaMelech it brings that Tohu, it's rooted in the concept of Taf, of the Olam HaMalbush, which is V'zeu Taf Tammuz V'Taf V'zeu Taf Tammuz V'yimloch V'yamus Chulu. So the Olam HaMalbush is a concept in Keser, or high above the concept of Keser, connected with Tohu. So that's V'zeu Taf Tammuz, and that's the concept of Taf being the first letter of Tammuz, of death, because it's referring to Vayimluch V'Yamos Chulu, the concept of the death of the kings of Esav, the Birur of Tohu. And perhaps it has a connection here with what we're talking about, the Birur of Esav as well. Vayan Zor Chele Gimel Chukas Kuf Pei Amud Beis, the Taf Daled V'Nun Mischaber Kechada, I guess Tadan V'Nun Ha'itmar V'Lo Tonu Chulu. And Nun, it says, do not cheat your brother, and so forth. Isha Sachiv Adkan, from Zohar Chukas, the quote from Zohar Chukas. So we see the concept of cheating is that Efron that cheated is connected with the concept of Taf as well. That's connected with Nun, according to the Zohar as well. So this Taf, these physical desires, are connected with cheating as well, that Efron tried to cheat Avraham. And also from this you can understand the concept of a bad eye, that says about Efron that he had a bad eye, he tried to cheat, and desired the money. Gematria Taf, Surah Ein, this Gematria of 400, Shiur, Misigi Hegvuros Anal, that's rooted in these dregs of these strictnesses, from the concept of how a snake came onto Chava, the concept of the tomb of menstruation and so forth. That's the concept of Efron grasping the concept of the field of the Machpelah, which is the feminine aspect, as the concept of the kever, Yesod of Nukva, like he says in the previous Mamer as well. Ulechein nasan lo Avraham daled mios shekel kesef shenasan lo chelko, and therefore Avraham gave him 400 coins, shekels of kesef, of silver, of desire, that he gave him his portion. Al pasuk v'nog zayich tzedakah, on the verse that those people who are asking money from you, or pushing you to pay them back, will change to the concept of charity. Pasuk in Yeshaya. And that's why it says that the field of Efron got up, was lifted up, that it had a tremendous lifting up and elevation, that it was lifted up from the breaking of the vessels, and it was lifted up in holiness, in a high holiness, revelation of the supernal pleasure. It was lifted up from the bottom to the top. I guess the tough is Batika Talia. The Shviras Lekelim comes from Keser, but it fell all the way to the bottom. So it was an elevation of, like the Birun and Tzutzos. Inyan Arba Meos Shekel Kesef over Lasocher. So the concept of 400 shekels of silver that can pass to the merchant. Pirush Bedra Rabba Naso Kuf Kaf Chesamon Beis. So it explains in Medrash Rabba Naso, Nihiru Dahahu Chivra Yarsi Tzadikaya La Alma Da'asi. From the light of that whiteness, the tzaddikim inherit to the world to come. Arba Meos Almin, 400 worlds. Hadahu Dichsiv, Arba Meos Shekel Kesef over La Socher. That there's 400 coins of silver that pass to the merchant. Berusham Bekol Birama. And so it explains in Kol Birama the Perush on the Idra from Rabbeinu Yaakov Tzemach. Da ki b'arich anpin yishtalid meos yishtalid mochin. Know that in Keser of Arich Anpin there's 4 concepts of brain, of the mind. And their glimmer spreads outwards to the skull, the concept of the skull, without a garment, that does not spread into the hairs. And it's called the whiteness, that's compared to the white part of the scalp that's in between the hairs on the head, so to speak. So those are the outer mochin, the brilliance of an arich that's not mitzumtzum is obviously in the concept of the skull, beyond the concept of the inner mind and brain. The mochin of arich. And from these 4 concepts comes 400 worlds. So the concept of Keser is hundreds, like we know with 100 of the life of Sarah is Meos. From Keser, and that is in the world of Tchiyah, of Tchiyas HaMesim. That's when you have these 400 worlds. And that's why it says that Avraham weighed for Efron, that is to those who are dwelling in the earth. Gam al min lashon helem, that is those that were dwelling in the Efron is from the language of dust and earth. But so it's the who dwells in the earth. Those are the mesim for Tchiyas HaMesim. Like we said, that Taf is for both Tammuz and for Tchiyah. That these 400 is for the to enliven the dead. Gam al min lashon helem. Also, these worlds, these 400 worlds, are from the language of hidden. Shem Taf al alfin oros ne'elamim. There are 4,000 hidden lights. Rish Yud Aleph Harikan Lashono. Rav. So it's the end of the quote from the Kol Berama. He's quoting someone who's usually it's the Parish of the Arizal, but I'm not sure what Reish Yud Aleph is. Hodsham, and further there, Mstamin Kol Berama Perush Chesed Me'oravim Hagimel Mochin. So it says that the kindness is mixed together with the three mochin, al kain hem taf almin, therefore it's 400 worlds. So I guess if you have Chabad plus Chesed, so that's the 400. Shekasov Yishkol Avraham, and that's why it says that Avraham is the one that measured it. Shehu Chesed Chulu, that he's the kindness in Chesed. I guess they may make Kedem. So the Muchin and Arich are Niskala through Avraham, which are Megala, the Muchin and Keser. Hodsham, and further there, Ein Mashakasu B'idra Rabba, Beplugta Desaidi Azil Chad Orcha Denahi Elmason V'Shivin Almin Chulu, that it says in Idra Rabba that in the division of the hairs, it traverses a path that shines to 270 worlds. Shezeu inyan echad im taf almin hanal. That's one concept together with these 400 worlds. It's a similar concept, these 270 worlds. Because the concept of the hairs is to hide the supernal light that's drawn from Arich to Zah through the hairs of Arich. But tzaddikim, like it's known by the concept of the tefillin, you have these kutzi desaidi that are makeh on the rosh of Zah for Giloi by the Muchin and Tefillin. But tzaddikim nemar as tisanik al havaya, and by tzaddikim it says that they'll have a pleasure upon havaya lamayla mehazah nikra havaya, that is above the concept of ziranpin, that's called havaya. Fahinu shem mekabli mahachivarti apanoi mesairos, that is that they're receiving from this concept of whiteness that's devoid of hairs. Vayan mashakazum inyan chivarti bibir al pasuk simini kechosam or bibir al pasuk shchora ani venava. And look at the concept of the whiteness, about the concept of simini kechosam, place me as a seal by the tefillin, that I'm black and beautiful. Maybe like the shachros of tefillin. V'tam inyan ein reish almin keneged Kaf Zayin Osiyas Torah, and the reasoning behind the concept of the 270 worlds, it is that they correspond with the 27 letters of the Torah. Vod Kuf Lamed Me'irim Derech Chivra Dereisha Shabin Se'ar L'Se'ar, and further 130 shine through the paths from the whiteness of the head between the hairs. So the letters are like these sidros, and you have another 130 that shines from the whiteness, so that makes 400 together. And the concept is ki elu hadaled ki elu ataf nechalakin letlas mochin chabar chuluayin sham, that these 400 worlds, these 400 are divided into the three mochin of Chabad. Look over there. So I'm not exactly sure how you would divide it up. You would divide up the numbers into the mochin. We can say Kiminyan Kuf Lamed, because of the number 130. K'mor shekosov kairos kesef achas shloshimu mea mishkala. And it says by the gifts to the Mishkan of the Nesim in Nisan that the tray of silver weighed 130 of shekel. That is the worlds of desire that are drawn through the 13 attributes of mercy. That each one is composed of 10. So if you multiply them by 10, so 13 times 10 is 130. Uminyan neged zach os Ohr Hatorah, and the number 270 corresponds with the pure 27 letters of the Torah, zach. Shkol echad kolom yud, that each one is composed of 10 multiplied by 10. Ube'emek hamelech shashav tikunim apach kasav, and in Emek HaMelech, the gate of the 7 tikkunim, of the Reisha, Zayin tikkunim de Reisha, which is a different concept from the other tikkunim. Kasav ki be'orech zayish sham arba meus almin dikisufin, says that in this path there are 400 worlds of desire. That is from the language of desire, and my soul expires. And it's from the language of a hidden treasure or desired thing. And it says that you desired to go to your father's house. Lavan said to Yaakov, Vesud Arba Meos Almin, and the secret of the 400 worlds. Ki ba'arich yesh Havaya b'milo yudin, because in Arich you have the concept of Shem Havaya with yuds. V'yidali yudin elu klulim eser. And these 4 Havayas are composed of, that's their Shem Av. In Havaya you have the concept of Shem Av, and the 4 yuds of Shem Av, each one is composed of 10. Ve'eser miyud, and the 10 of 10, him arba meos, that so the 4 yuds multiplied by 100 is the 400. So that's the 400 coins that pass over to the merchant. These 400 worlds of desire. And look what's brought about the concept of Shem Havaya with the yuds, Shehu Shem Av, and the miloi of the name, that's the chitzonius, so to speak, that's what gives flow downwards to the lower worlds. V'yud hu chachma, and the yud is wisdom. That is to say, then Shem Av, even the miloi, is a very high concept, the idea of wisdom, of Chachma. Al derech umayim mi beis Hashem yotze, like the idea of that a spring comes out of the house of Hashem. So it's similar to the concept of the Yuchad Hadikna, where it describes the hashpa of the Midos Rachamim from the Yuds and the Vav and the Nikudos and timing that come from it. That each one of these ideas is a further Hamshacha downwards. The Miloi and the Nikudos and the timing. And look what's brought about the idea of Shem Av and explaining who counts the dust of Yaakov. And there it talks about Rova Yisrael, which is a fourth. One of the Perushim of Rova is that it's a fourth, that you have, I guess, the four of Shem Av, the four Yuds. There you have the idea of, from Shari Yechudim, you have the concept of the three levels of the soul, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and then you have the soul to the soul, which is the fourth level. That's like the idea of Afasisi. Hu hatzadik hamachzir la'alos chulu imaschoro shelo chulu. So what is over lasocher? That's the tzaddik that goes around to elevate with, so to speak, his wares, hamaisim tovim shelo chulu, which are his good deeds. Vayan kimu avanim tovus even aleph ban chulu, which are like good precious stones that he's selling. That the even is aleph with ban. As is known, the aleph that goes to the ban. So that's the end of the quote from Imika Melech.